As we all know, many fans were happy to see Kyle Juszczyk return to the San Francisco 49ers after testing free agency, even went to go visit teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sounds like he also went to go visit the Las Vegas Raiders. And according to his wife, Christian Juszczyk, it sounds like they had traveled to potentially 5 destinations. Now, that was based on a story post that she put out. But all things considered, it seems like Kyle Juszczyk is very happy to remain a San Francisco 49ers in what appears to be a situation where he will retire. But this is an interesting conversation. He does go in depth on Sirius XM, kind of talking about the process of what he went through and how it came about. And he reveals something that was told to him by someone in charge when it comes to him being released and all these different types of things. And stood out to me just because I think we know the current state of the 49ers and what they're trying to do, but to kind of hear a player echo that, I think is pretty interesting. So take a listen, and we'll obviously react to it on the other side.
The last couple of days, it's funny you said it was a short stint that I was a free agent, but for me, I mean, it felt again like a lifetime. I had discussions with them throughout the off season that maybe it was a possibility that I was going to have to take a pay cut or we're going to have to rework some things in my contract, but it was never anything definite. It was just something that they put on my radar and something that I needed to be prepared for. And just as things went on, I just the optimist in me started telling myself that, man, I don't think we're going to have to do this. It's getting close to the actual free agency period. Haven't heard too much. Things are kind of looking good. But then, they finally, a couple days before that, were like, yeah, this is a real thing. The financial restrictions we're under are a real thing. And, they kind of put it in my court of whether, I wanted to be released or if we wanted to continue to try and negotiate a pay cut. But I think, like anybody, it's good to see what your market is. And so they gave me the opportunity to do that. And so me and my agent, went to work and, we had some interested teams and, we explored those possibilities because I feel like that's just fair to me and my family. You got to explore those possibilities, even if it's something that deep down maybe you don't want to do. We looked into it, and I think just to put it in the simplest terms, at the end of the day, it was too much to leave home. I wanted to be a Niner, and we were able to get to a number that I was comfortable with, and then we were able to make the deal, and I couldn't be happier, and I'm trying not to look back at all. Like, I'm just happy to be there and know I'm locked in for 2 more years.
Again, there's one part that really stood out to me. He was paraphrasing as if this could have been John Lynch, this could have been Kyle Shanahan, whoever handles the communication in regards to you know, contract negotiations. I would assume that would be John Lynch. But he paraphrased by saying, yeah, this is a real thing. The financial restrictions we're under are a real thing. Financial restrictions. Now, obviously, is this a surprise to anyone? Are we surprised to hear this? No, no one is surprised. We've seen how the 49ers have executed this free agency period, and clearly they are executing this free agency period like they're under financial restrictions. I think that's been a lot of the pushback from some fans, media, content creators is not only are the 49ers going for more bargain style free agents, but it goes beyond that. It clearly, as Kyle alludes to, is that there are financial restrictions on the personnel staff, pro personnel, in regards to identifying free agents that fit the team and try to bring them on. The highest paid free agent that they brought on was a backup tight end in Luke Farrell, where he was able to earn, I believe it was up to 11.5 million guaranteed over 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle is also, I guess, considered to be one of the higher priced free agents. signing, I think it was a 2-year, $8 million with $7 million of that guaranteed. And other than that, we had a signing yesterday. They signed another defensive back with primarily special teams experience. A lot of special teamers, a lot of guys who are back end depth that will play a lot of special teams next year. So the 49ers have let a lot of guys go, but they haven't brought much back, at least in the form of the defensive line. When you look at the defensive line, they lost 3 starters that were slated to start at the beginning of last season, and they have not replaced them. So they really haven't even made an addition. Kevin Givens was on the roster last year. He returned. He signed a 1-year deal with the team, but he was still a part of the roster last year. So is that really a return? But anyways, it obviously is a look inside to see that Kyle kind of went and spoke with other teams, saw what his market was, and really just kind of was able to determine that, maybe he could. And it was reported he was offered more money from the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that means he would have to relocate. He would have to uproot his family from his home, his wife. He's got a couple dogs and stuff like that. They would have to pick up, they would have to move and restart over. And I think, just where he's at in his career, it's like, man, yes, we could go get some more money, but let's ride out our career with the 49ers. Let's just finish it here and right off into the sunset, as they say. So I'm happy for Juice. I'm glad he's back. I think a lot of fans were really excited about him returning, just because a lot of fans don't just solely view these players for what they do on the field. A lot of fans appreciate the personality, the things like that. A lot of fans love his wife. So there's a lot of reasons why people love Kyle Juszczyk outside of just being a fullback. So of course, a lot of fans were really excited about that. Some fans pessimistic about the re-signing, thought that it was kind of a signal that they were going away from certain personnel groupings that use the fullback, and they were kind of evolving the offense. And now it's like, oh, well, that wasn't the case. So it is interesting. It is interesting how this whole thing has come about, this free agency period. It's definitely a deviation from previous free agency periods that we've seen. And, I wouldn't even consider last offseason to be a big spend, free agent frenzy type situation where they brought in Yetur Gross-Matos and Leonard Floyd and Jordan Elliott, and they brought in some guys that were decently priced, not high priced, but in the end, this offseason is definitely a deviation. So I'm curious about what you guys think about Juice's journey back, and him kind of basically saying that, yeah, the financial restrictions are absolutely real. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.